This is Wholesaling Houses Elite, the no fluff and BS podcast with tips and tricks to help you become an elite wholesaler. Our guest will spill the beans on what it takes to be the best.
This podcast is brought to you by Lead Gen Pros, making it incredibly easy for the average real estate investor and business owner to get more leads. They work with a variety of companies who specialize in real estate investing and who are looking for a systemized way to increase their lead flow and grow their business. If that sounds like you, check out theleadgenpros.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another podcast here at Wholesaling Houses Elite Podcast. My name is Maxwell, and with me today, not only do I have one, but I have two special guests, and these guys are from Deal Machine. We have David Lecco and Joshua. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
We're doing great.
So I know you guys hear me talk about driving for dollars and Deal Machine. They go hand in hand. Now you get to meet the guy that created it. You get to meet his VP of sales. You get to kind of learn how David and I first connected all the way to where we are now. So guys, introduce yourself. Welcome to the podcast and kind of introduce yourself.
Awesome. So my name's David, and I created the app for myself back in 2016. And I want to introduce you guys to Josh. We went to elementary school.
Elementary school,
That's
all the
right.
way back? Okay.
Way back. Fifth grade, I think we started going to school together. David, as he was beginning to build Deal Machine with our other friend Dave, who's another partner, they had some early success, and I had a sales and marketing background and joined after six months or so after initial launch, just to help spur on the growth that they were already seeing.
Yeah.
So David, let's talk about like you creating this app from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
This idea. What was your challenges? Why did you want to create this? Were you an avid investor going out closing deals and stuff?
Yeah, I was just getting into it.
Okay.
And I first got into it because I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Just like me, huh?
And I wanted to retire early. And so I played the cash flow game, which is basically teaching you to use your income from your day job and invest it. So that way your passive income exceeds your living expenses, and then you can do whatever you want, essentially. And so I was going to buy my first rental property, and I couldn't find any good deals on the MLS. So I started driving for dollars, and that's when it all started.
Yeah. So you got that term. Were you looking at with talking to other investors? Where did you learn that term, driving for dollars?
So I found a real estate investing association, and I had no idea what that was.
It's
so
like
I
a
showed
RIA.
up. Yeah, it's a RIA.
Your local RIA.
That's right. And I showed up, and then I heard people talking about it there.
Got it. So while you were driving for dollars, what did you find? And we're talking not that long ago.
2016.
Yeah. So we're
Yeah.
talking like 3 years or less ago where you found out what driving for dollars was. You're having problems finding rental property, anything to flip on the MLS. So
Yep.
it's like, I'm going to go driving for dollars because you learned that at your local RIA.
Yep.
What issues were you having that made you want to create something to solve a problem?
I was not following through because I spent all my time driving. That was honestly a lot of fun. I'd write down the addresses, and I'd take pictures of the house. And eventually I just kept doing that, but I wasn't sending out any mail. I wasn't looking up the owners. I was just doing the fun part.
You know, I think that's crazy. You go back to where we are 3 years ago when I started this business. We kind of started around the same time. I'm almost 3 years in. Is like 3 years ago, the best way to drive for dollars was to have several apps open and take screenshots and pictures so that you go back home and look up each individual address on the tax assessor's website.
That's right.
Just 3 years ago, to the point where we are now. Obviously, you guys know where Deal Machine is, where we're like taking a picture on site and it's automatically sending out a postcard to the homeowner instantly.
Yep.
So walk me through that place where you're like, listen, I am frustrated with the way this is happening, to the point where you kind of was like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah. So about 3 weeks into this, I was getting home from work and driving a couple nights a week. And I had a list of properties. I drove by on that third week, one of those properties, and somebody else was renovating it. And so I was like, oh, shoot, did somebody buy this before I even followed up? And so I felt really guilty. And, you know, I had like this sick feeling, and I was like, I need to go home right now and look up all these owners and get out the mail before it kind of becomes out of date, before my list becomes out of date.
So you just decided, listen, I drove by a house. I saw this house first, but because of my inaction to follow up and all that stuff, I lost out on a deal.
Yeah. Awful feeling.
Yeah.
But motivating.
So you decide you're going to create something.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, not yet. So then I had to look up the owners. All right. So I didn't have the idea for Deal Machine yet, but I was like, threw on Friends on Netflix, and it took like 3 episodes to look up 40 properties. And then I was trying to decipher my handwriting because I had kind of written it in the car and it wasn't totally clear. And then pairing that with the photos on my phone so I could put together a mail piece with the photo that's going to be really personal and get a better response. And that's the point where I had the moment of like, I need a technology to do this for me. Yeah.
So you were the best coder in the world and you decided to build this.
Not the best coder in the world, because the first time I coded it, it looked pretty bad. But it didn't need to look good. It was just for me.
Correct. It was for yourself.
It needed to look up the owner and it needed to send out a postcard.
Isn't that crazy that some of the best products come from your own personal struggles in this industry? That's kind of like when we created REI Rail. It came from a struggle of being the dumb investor on the end of the phone.
That's right.
And it solved a big problem for you. You were trying to solve a big problem for yourself.
Yeah. So I think a lot of startups will talk a lot about market research. They'll talk about like doing surveys and stuff. And I just trying to solve my problem.
You were your own case study.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So at this point you start building, and where are we at in the years? 2016 still?
That's right.
So
we've got 8 full-time team members now. Wow. Yeah. People have done a lot of deals.
Yeah. I've done several. We drove by some today.
That's right.
When do you bring on Joshua?
So Josh was the third person, including me.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first person I brought on was our friend Dave, and he is the main technology person.
Got it.
All right. So Dave came on board in, trying to think. I put the app on the App Store January 2017.
Okay.
And then people started to kind of find it. And I was like, oh man, we need to focus on this.
Yeah.
So I brought on Dave in about April.
It blew up.
Not yet. I mean, it took a while. It took like a full year and a half before Dave and I had taken any salary. And then Josh came on
January
2018, right?
Formally January, like literally January 1st or 2nd, 2018 was the first emails I sent of like, hey, like let's chat about Deal Machine to people to talk.
So you guys go from going to elementary school together to the point where you're now building an app and you can reach out to a friend and say, hey, I need your advice.
Yeah.
We've always been interested in business.
Yeah.
And worked on projects together before.
Yeah, we worked on projects together before. Dave, the other founder, and I have done businesses in the past.
Okay.
The agency that we both worked right out of college at, we had done together, a group from 5 to 75 people. So we were really, really familiar with each other as friends as well as like business associates from that perspective.
So let's talk about when you and I met.
Yep.
We met in 2017.
We did.
And that was at a Sean Terry event. What month was that?
October.
So October, I had just started a YouTube video, like just started YouTube at that point. And we met in the hall, I think in a break. No, it was at the pre-event meeting, the pre-event bar.
Happy hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We met there, we started talking, and I was there with Big Sip in Mississippi. And it was like, hey, look, I got way better bourbon back at the hotel room. Let's all just go back there and kick it.
Yeah.
We kick it, and you told me about the app, and I was like, oh my God, that's genius. And I think it's crazy to go from that, where we at the Sean Terry event, to a year later, exactly the weekend, we're at like my own event. And you're sponsoring an event, and your app is like done well. It changed my company, changed the way I literally eliminated 4 processes and created 1. Plus, it sent mail, and to where we are now. And that, like, even off the topic, that just shows like the hustle and like how the determination takes you to that next level. So you built this app. It's going. Traction is coming. You now have got 8 full-time employees. What have you seen the most? What are most of your customers saying that are using this successful? Like, what is the best way to use it? What's the best tool? How are you managing that? How are people managing that?
I got to let Josh answer that because he works with our bigger companies.
And that's the enterprise plan. The bigger people that are doing enterprise, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And to your point, the reason they typically go to enterprise is because they do what makes them successful, which is scale it with team members.
Mm-hmm.
And so like eventually, especially as you're building a business, you don't have the time to go driving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so while like the first variation of the app that we built was really for the individual driving, where we're at now and where we see most successful people is I need to get other people sending me properties.
Mm-hmm.
As many people as I can. Whenever they see a distressed home, they're trying to self-associate themselves with distressed homes to those people so that they get those properties sent to them through Deal Machine and they decide what they want to do with them from there.
That's crazy because I remember talking about this Deal Machine app for a while because it eliminated so many processes and for me. So our good friends that we both know, the Polites, Dedrick and Crystal Polite, I think they were the first ones I know of because they taught me something. How to take the app to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they started hiring drivers from their mom onto more and more people driving for dollars to them and then making 6 figures on a deal, that changed my thought process and how they do things
mm-hmm.
and how I was like, oh, I'm underusing this app.
Yeah.
And that's to your point where
Mm-hmm.
the enterprise plan, and let's talk about the enterprise plan
Sure.
for the bigger guys. What is the features of the enterprise plan?
Yeah, so the biggest jump is going to be on the user limits. On our basic plan, you get one main user. So a main user being someone who can actually hit send mail,
Myself.
do all that yourself. And then 3 drivers. Drivers can only add properties. They can't do anything else inside the app.
So that's the basic level?
That's the basic plan.
Okay.
So you get 3 team members. On our enterprise plan, you get 5 main users like yourself on your plan, and you get an unlimited number of drivers that can be on your plan.
Mm.
So there's literally no limits on the number of people that can be on your team sending you properties that are opportunities in your market or even in a virtual market if you're trying to jump into it, throwing up Craigslist ads in a virtual market for people to join your team to jump into a new area. In addition to the unlimited users, you also have a automated sign-up workflow. So people can come to a live web page, sign up for your team as a deal finder, have the app, and start sending you properties without you lifting a finger at any point in that process.
So I can go into a Facebook group or Facebook Marketplace or a Facebook private, like the yard sales of North Carolina.
Yeah.
And literally put my personal link in there and say, hey, I'm paying people $500 to $1,000 a deal. And they don't have to know you. They sign up. They go through the sign up process. There's a video that tells them how to use it, and they just start sending you property.
100% automated.
So that's the scalability in the app. So
that's right.
And so let's talk about money because let's talk about what's the basic plan cost.
The basic plan is $49 a month.
Okay.
And 99 cents for a postcard or an enhanced search.
Got it. So $50 a month, $49, and every time you send a postcard, it costs you $1. And then the enterprise is the same, but just probably more because the more people you can add.
Exactly. So it's $199 a month today. It actually is going to $299 in the next couple of months. We don't have a hard
get on it now.
So get on it now. We're grandfathering everyone in that signs up before then. And a big push to that $299 is going to be a big feature update to the Deal Finder onboarding process, making it even more educational for deal finders in addition to automated on your side. So it's going to go to $299. It's currently $199, and it's 80 cents per postcard and 80 cents per skip trace. So you save money on the back end as well. Just as your volume increases, it eventually pays for itself.
Love it. Let's talk about like most of the people. The beginning, they're probably going to be at the $49 level, right? A lot of people are not doing what the Polites are doing, what I'm doing with hiring drivers or just using a lot of people. The $49 plan. What are some of your best case uses on people you're seeing with your users? How should somebody that is driving for dollars now, the old fashioned way like you and I used to do, and switch over to the app?
Yep.
How should they use it the best? And what would they most used to get out of it?
I got a good answer. All right. Your video on the hot zip codes is a perfect place to start and figure out where to go driving.
Okay.
Because a lot of times it's about just being in the right area.
So I don't know if people know that video, but Dave or somebody put it right here. It'll be in the description.
Make it happen.
It'll be in the description somewhere. But that video, I show people how to find the hottest zip codes in their market for free.
Yeah.
Right.
Take that and start driving in those zip codes to see if you can find any properties.
Yep.
But what type of numbers does somebody have to put up to make this lucrative?
Totally. You've got to do at least 200 properties that look distressed in some way, meaning that the property's physically distressed and run down.
So if I'm getting this right, if I I sign up for Deal Machine at $49 a month, and you're telling me your average user usually adds 200 properties before they get a deal, you're saying around $250 to $500 worth of effort, I can probably more likely be closer to a deal than most people are.
Want to be conservative, so say like $600-700, but
because
you want to mail a few times.
Yeah, because each time you mail, right?
Yeah.
But that you need to you're finding out that 200 mail pieces in circulation is what's consistent.
Yeah, as long as you're repeating that, we always say at least that's what it takes because
obviously this is no guarantees.
Right.
You want to say you do exactly what you're going to get a deal.
There's so many stories of people getting it on their 50th property, and they're just like, crazy success stories. So we kind of bumped those numbers up to be a little bit more realistic.
We had an example here in North Carolina, actually, one of our basic users that I met, Albert Diaz, in Raleigh. He came to me one day and he said, I saw he was in Raleigh in our chat, and he was like, I've gotten 7 deals off Deal Machine. I'm like, dude, that's amazing. That's so awesome. Like, I want to meet up with you. Let's grab a coffee. So, because we don't always get to see people in person, because we're so virtual. So we got a coffee. I'm like, hey, like, I know you said you got 7 deals. Like, how many is that at? So we pull his app out. He doesn't even know this. He added 93 properties to Deal Machine and had 7 deals from those 93.
I'd kill for a ratio like that.
That's a good. Not sustainable, but still, it's such a niche list. And when those properties are distressed, it's a great indicator.
Let's talk
that
about
they might need to sell it soon.
Let's talk about the niche list. Why is Driving for Dollars different than any other vacant list I can pull, any other absentee owners? Why is that? I know why, because I talk about you need to drive for dollars. Tell me some of the benefits of why Driving for Dollars is the best and why that list is not anywhere else.
You're going to spend way less on mail because it's a smaller list. These houses are in disrepair.
You've physically seen them.
You've laid eyes on it, and compare that to the traditional method where a beginner wholesaler will buy an absentee owner property list and they'll send out thousands of pieces. Everybody's doing that.
Yep.
Okay. And you don't really know what properties are on that list. You just know they're absentee. They might have some equity. But when the property's distressed, like that's an indicator about their like life situation. So that's what I would have to say about that.
Yeah, I think doubling down on that idea that all those other lists you mentioned, vacant, absentee, anything else, everyone's buying those. And it's easy for them to do it. They can do it from their couch at home and just make it happen.
Yeah.
And what they can't do from their couch at home, which most people fall off when it becomes more of an effort thing, is go out and drive and self-verify that these properties are distressed. And the unique thing about a distressed property, even if it fits some of the other criteria, what you double verify in person when you see a distressed property is that these people can't sell this property in its current state.
They're not on the market.
Their only option is to sink a bunch of money into it themselves or sell it at a discount.
Correct.
And
that's the only two options.
Those are the conversations we want to have. So not only do we verify that they have to sell a house in a non-traditional way, when they do have to sell, even if that's today or in the future, we also know they're not currently taking care of it. And then we also know less people are marketing to those people. So by the time that your marketing overlaps with their personal timeline, you also hit that moment where you're getting a deal that no one else is marketing to, and you're getting at a margin that they know factually they can't sell traditionally. So you're getting a better margin because of that as well.
That's interesting. So what are some of the features on the app? Like once you're driving, you drop a pin on a house that you're sitting in front of. What can they do once they do that?
So from there, you can see the owner. You can see if it's absentee owned or owner occupied or corporate owned. And then you can press a button to send a postcard.
You can customize the postcard.
Yeah, and it features the picture of the house you just took.
So the picture of the house goes on the front of the postcard.
And the back.
And is sent out to the homeowner.
That's right.
And it's full color on both
and
sides.
You get a push notification when it arrives.
I get them every day. I love it. I love
so
it.
like you're ready to answer the phone in case they give you a call.
That's amazing. I mean, that's game-changing software. And what I like about the software, it allows somebody at a very beginner level to get in the game, all based on their own effort with a little bit of money behind them. And it also allows somebody like me, who's an enterprise customer, to scale my Driving for Dollars effort without having to create my own funnel, without having to have my own proprietary software to sign people up, and literally just track who's putting. That's the best feature I like. is to track where people have drove in the entire city and then track who's actually put the deal up. Because when it comes time to pay out the commissions, which I love paying, I gladly pay those commissions or those bonuses, is because I can tell who uploaded that photo. That's amazing. That's amazing. So what are some of your favorite new features that you've rolled out recently?
Well, I like to pay by the hour because I like the consistency of it. And so I usually would get these texts and be like, hey, I drove 7 hours today. And they're always even hour amounts. I'm like, are you really driving a full 7 hours? Or is this like 6 hours and 20 minutes?
Yeah, that matters.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that, the app with the route tracking shows me where she's been and how long she's driven. So that way I can just verify that. And also I want to keep her in the right areas. So if she like ventured off somewhere I don't really want to invest in, then I can just let her know that very easily.
Yeah, pull back.
And there's also accountability that comes with that, because part of that drive report also says how many properties they added. So if you have a quota of like, you need to add 18 properties per hour for that to qualify in addition to the time spent. So you can immediately verify that drive had an average of 18 per hour or whatever that number is for you, and how long they drove over that time. So it's all right there.
Yeah. And if you have a question, you can actually chat with us right in the app.
Yeah, that's one feature I love is your customer service.
We'll
is
get
fast.
back. Yeah, it really under 5 minutes during business hours.
Yeah. Yeah, don't be 1 a.m. frustrated and reach out. I have people do that. And they're like, why did you answer? It's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
We're just not going to do that right now. I love Deal Machine. I personally use it. I know it's a lot of people have had a lot of success from it. Where can people find you at? You and Deal Machine.
Oh yeah. Well, I think you've got it hosted on your site, right? Like,
yeah.
Is it therealmaxwell.com/deal machine?
Yeah. So I'll leave a link below in the description for a link. And I think you gave me something where it's like 30 days free or 2 weeks free or something like that. What's the feature? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's 30 days and it's extra. It's like $40 of credits that they can use to send mail.
Double bonus.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
No one else gets that.
I didn't even know that. So your first month's free and you get 40 postcards or something, or like skip traces.
Yeah, we want you to be successful. We want to show you the value.
Yeah. I honestly did not know that.
Like falling out of his chair.
I didn't know that. So go sign up. I'm gonna leave the link below, and you basically get your first month free and your first 40 postcards. Use them wisely. Use them fast. I did not know that. Dave, but where can people find you on Instagram? You want Instagram people?
Oh yeah. So my handle is at @dleco.
Okay.
And our company's one is at Deal Machine App.
Cool. And you're at a lot of the events we do.
Yeah.
You guys we live 19 was amazing. You guys were there. And I just followed you, and you got 3 photos. So hopefully by the time you guys listen to this, he has at least a 4th photo up there.
You can find me at Joshua Johnson T on Instagram. I'll be there, and I will have more than 3 photos.
Anxiously awaiting the 4th photo.
Yeah.
Or probably gonna have to be
I'll share my
Max.
whole flip. The flip that I did last year on Deal Machine. I'll share a bunch of pictures from it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Along with my awesome dogs.
Content. And then they can also probably find you in the chat bar.
Yep.
Every now and then.
I'm there. I jump in, especially for all of our enterprise customers. I'm not normally manning those directly. We've got other staff that manages those directly, but I probably still spend an hour or 2 a day on there talking to people.
I love that. Can I put you guys on the spot?
Yeah, we kind of are already.
Yeah. All right. I want to know if you are working on any new updates that may be coming down the road, something that you can just maybe tell us a little peek about.
Oh yeah.
We got
some we're always working on. But nobody knows what's coming next until now.
Drop it. What was that? I feel like I need to buy a movie ticket. What's going on?
All right. So we thought about the main success people have is because of the personalization of the postcards and the list. And so we wanted to take it a step further, and we're going to release some ballpoint pen letters so that your letters can actually be written with a ballpoint pen that you would send out through Deal Machine.
So real handwritten type letters.
Oh yeah. Right. And it's going to be cheaper than anywhere you can find these. I think the cheapest we've ever seen is like $5 for like
that's true.
For a totally handwritten letter. And so these are going to be $2 or below. $2 or below.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're super excited about that update. Just giving another unique piece of mail to put into a campaign.
So these are going to be like postcards. Like if I'm traveling in Mexico and I write
envelope, like an invitation style envelope.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
With a real stamp on it, full,
so
big colorful
I
envelope.
know through reading a lot and listening a lot is that is a more open mail. If somebody sees a handwritten piece of mail that is not computer ink,
right,
and real ballpoint pen, that open rate goes way up.
Yeah,
because that is a personalized time took out to that. We all get mail in our mailbox. We can tell the difference between printed mail and real handwriting. Right. That's a big difference now.
Yeah.
So, wow. So I'm gonna try it. So what do you think the best use case on that would be? Like what do you think they should use that more on? Because it's a little bit more pricier.
Yeah.
What should they use it for?
It's going to be exactly double the cost. Whatever, if you're enterprise or basic, double the cost of the postcard. My main thing, so part of what Deal Machine also offers is a campaign feature. So you can, by default, you can repeat postcards in any number of times.
I do 8.
However
8 times,
many days in between you want. And so our campaign feature lets you actually do sequential messaging. So you don't have to send the same postcard every single time or the same mail type. And so what I'm telling people from a cost perspective or from an impact perspective, have that first mailer be that letter. That really impactful, unique piece of mail that's going to stand out. And then from a cost balancing perspective, then switch to the postcard, save money. So you're over the course of a year, let's say you send the letter the first and the last time. And you can customize the copy on both of those however you want. And then you send 10 postcards in between. It's going to cost you.
Set up your mail sequence, but you get that personal touch in the beginning and towards the end.
Exactly. Yep. And so that's one of the areas I'm really recommending people is like leverage it to where you're not, especially balance your budget appropriately, leverage it to where you get the high impact touch point at the beginning and end where that can make a big difference in your campaign performance, and then still get the savings of the consistency of the postcards in between.
So there you have it.
Yeah.
That's the bomb. They're putting out handwritten pieces of mail, real envelopes in the very near future. And I'll be the first to test that. I want to test that when it goes out. And I'm going to send one to myself to see if it looks really, really dope. And I'll report back to let you know if it's real or not. So that's cool, man. I really appreciate both of you guys coming to North Carolina, shooting some content with me, hanging out in the podcast room. And
thanks for having us.
This is awesome.
Appreciate it.
This is
we
awesome.
Had a fun time.
Make sure you guys go out, get Deal Machine. The link's below. Dude, you get 30 days and 40 postcards for free. I mean, if you don't sign up, you're crazy. That's a month and your first 40 postcards out for free. You can't beat that. So appreciate Dave, appreciate Joshua, both of you guys, and I'll see you guys next. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Wholesaling Houses Elite podcast with Maxwell. Make sure to tune in next week to see what elite wholesaler will have in the hot seat.